Hello and thank you for joining the Daily Record as we look ahead to the 2025 Ryder Cup. The clash at Bethpage is going to be potentially the best ever. It's been so highly talked about. Everyone's excited about it. So we're looking forward to it. And we're joined to look ahead to it by former Ryder Cup winner and junior Ryder Cup captain Stephen Gallacher MBE. And we're also joined by Iain Stoddart, who's the manager of Bob MacIntyre, who will represent Scotland in the European team. Thank you for joining the Daily Record as we take our look ahead to the 2025 Ryder Cup. Listen, the Ryder Cup gets bigger and bigger every single 2 years, but the 45th edition is gearing up to be probably one of the biggest ever, if not the biggest ever. New York, Europe going over there attempting to retain their trophy, and everyone's looking forward to the event. It's going to be something spectacular. So with that in mind, we thought we better get two people who can give you the exact lowdown on what's going on. Directly to my left, Stephen Gallacher,
20.
former Ryder Cup winner.
Correct.
MBE.
Correct.
Not just Luke Donald that's going to America, attempting to be a back-to-back winning captain. We'll get to this in a minute, but the junior Ryder Cup captain as well.
Yeah, really looking forward to that. I leave on Friday. We start our prep on Sunday. Practice round at Bethpage. Monday, practice round at NASA, opening ceremony, and then we're Tuesday, Wednesday at NASA Country Club and the singles on Bethpage on the Thursday in front of 40 or 50,000 people. So, what an experience for the kids.
Brilliant. And we're also joined by the one and only Iain Stoddart, the Director of Bounce Management, responsible for so many great Scottish players, manager to Stephen, Ryder Cup victory, manager to Robert MacIntyre as well, Ryder Cup victory. Iain, how are we?
Very good, thank you. Looking forward to this. A bit of trepidation, but we're all right.
You must be excited about going over. Obviously, it's going to be a fantastic week.
Yeah, it's first American Ryder Cup.
Mm-hmm.
First American Ryder Cup we've done, and but having spent the last couple of years there, beginning to get an idea of what to expect. But I don't think we'll fully know until we get there. But it's going to be raucous, I think, is fair to say.
Yeah, that seems to be. Now, I mean, we're here at Bathgate Golf Club. Stephen, this place is steeped in Ryder Cup history. I mean, you've got the captain, Eric Brown, your Uncle Bernard, yourself, 3 Ryder Cup stalwarts, all from the same club. Give us a bit of background of this place we're actually in, because we're not just filming this in any old room.
No, this is the Ryder Cup room in Bathgate Golf Club. As you said, Eric Brown, he was captain in '69 when my uncle made his debut, which is unbelievable when you think about it. 20,000 population, mining town. To have those two, back in the day. And, I think my uncle played 8, captain 3, vice captain 2. Eric played in it and he captained it twice as well. And I played in it. And I think my inspiration was when you come in the club, like I showed you when we were walking in, was the 2 pictures, one of Eric and one of my uncle, decked in their Ryder Cup gear, and that's what we looked at every single time you came in the golf club. It has to be one of the most famous clubs in the world, surely, especially Scotland.
Yeah, well,
to have those two come through at that time,
yeah,
from grassroots, just straight up.
The only one that was club champion, though.
Well, we don't talk about that. That's the other room. Yeah, my dad used to wind me up. Me and my uncle aren't on the board. But my dad was 1984 club champion, Jim Gallacher. So he was the one. He stuff your Ryder Cup rooms. That's the one you want to. That's the one you want to look at. But yeah, what a club! And just that's what inspired me to want to play in it. So it's I'm sure that other courses that guys have major winners that have won the Open, that's what they want to go, and you want to emulate guys like that. And that's basically what got me into it, and I've been steeped in it ever since.
How much pride, Iain? Because we are the home of golf. Scotland is, the epicentre for it. To be involved with Stephen and then Bob, and to carry on that tradition. I mean, Scotland's Ryder Cup history, going way back, and then through the later years, just having, your Monties and your Paul Orries way further back, your Ken Browns, Bernard, all of these guys. To be part of it with Stevie and then Bob, what's that feel like?
It's brilliant, to be honest. I mean, you're right. We're only just involved. There's only one guy that hits the shots in anything we do, and that's Bob, and that's Stevie. But these guys can be very proud of carrying on the tradition. It's great to have feathers in the cap. Monty, Andy Coulthard, Paul Orrie. I mean, there's a lot of recent history there.
Yeah.
I think Ian's been a wee bit modest, I mean, I don't think we just turn up and hit the shot, that's it. there's millions of other things going on behind the scenes that these guys take care of just so that you can go and play and try and get in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The process now is really tough to get in, and you know, how many times you've been back and forth to America this year? Probably about...
America has been a lot, but I mean, that's the way that the qualifying process now is. It's the only place you can be qualified. I think particularly for an American Ryder Cup, I don't think you can. It's really, really hard.
Yeah.
And I don't know how equipped you would be if you were winning 2 or 3 times in Europe and then trying to go and play in an American Ryder Cup. But if you're over there, I think probably this team that's coming up without jumping ahead of things, I think the team is as conditioned a team is probably a good word of putting it, that I can remember in recent times, that they're all over there playing week in, week out, winning, competing, you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't think we've been as universally conditioned as well as... It's probably a reasonable word to use in it, I would think.
Well, given the fact you started us on that, Iain, let's cut straight to the chase. The European team, you're in and around it, you're with Bob all the time. Give us a flavour of what you think the strengths of that team is. I won't be unfair and ask you about Bob straight away, but just that flavour of the whole team, the strength, the Rorys, the John. What's it like to be in amongst that? And
I think that just what we said there, it's the strength and depth now. It isn't just, you know, you're not just relying. You're not just relying on the top guys. The top guys are obviously important. Steve will be able to tell you better than that. But it's like there's a spine to the team, but there's not really. I mean, okay, Rasmus is coming in, but even Rasmus was there last time around. So
there's
a continuity.
We don't really know if he's playing either.
I know it could be Nicola.
Could be the same team. We don't really know. We're going to have to do a DNA test on the tee if I was Keegan Bradley.
If he's struggling, you could swap him over.
Well, if he's not doing too well, we'll just get him the right haircut and put him back out on the Saturday or something. But anyway, no. The team's very, very strong across the board in the strength and depth in the whole team. But it is a Ryder Cup, isn't it? So it's like a Old Firm game, a Hearts Hibs game. It's form goes out the window, doesn't it? It's how it turns out on the day. But as far as sort of being ready and prepared, and then obviously Luke's got one under his belt as well, so he knows what worked the last time, what didn't. So you've got to think they're as well prepared, as well conditioned, but you never jump ahead of yourself and say, I wouldn't want to call a favourite, to be honest. Any Ryder Cup.
And I think that seems to be the general thing, doesn't it? It seems to be one of the most equally balanced. Stephen, Iain touched on Luke Donald. You had a wonderful captain yourself, and Paul McGinley, attention to detail, that kind of thing. It's been mentioned a lot about Luke. Give us some insight into Paul and Luke, and maybe the differences or similarities.
Well, Luke's just got Paul in to actually help him for this one in America. Luke, I think they're two different types of people. You know, Paul's a bit more outgoing. Luke's quite quiet. And quite confident, quietly confident in his own abilities, and former world number one, played in plenty of Ryder Cups as well. And you know, I think he brings a calmness to the team. I think, as Iain said, they're all friends. You know, our biggest attribute is we can gel very well. We're all pals. And you see that, and I think that was a big thing with Luke as well. With the way the team unfurled was. He's pretty much got the same team as last time, apart from one guy who was there anyway. He was present, and the guys have done it. They've done it before. They know exactly what to...
He's done it, Stephen. You know, they always talk about managers and things like that, you know, in football or rugby or whatever, and it shows your medals. I mean, look at Luke Donald at Medina on Saturday afternoon.
Well, exactly. He's been there and done it.
That turns it. Everybody talks about Poulter. If Luke Donald doesn't hit that shot on the 17th and him and Sergio don't win...
I think, though, he'll be saying that's out the window. But
I just meant
he knows exactly what the Ryder Cup means. You know, when I look at Luke's thing, he's changed Rasmus for Nikolai, and he's changed Alex Noren for Nicholas Colsaerts in his backroom team. So it's pretty much everybody was there the last time is here this time. You know, and he's brought in Rasmus for Nikolai, you know, it's the same kind of player. They both got the same attributes. He's brought Alex Noren in for Nicholas Colsaerts. Noren's just won a couple of times.
Of course.
You know, it's not much change.
He's winning. Even the vices are winning.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing that, you know, and that'll bring a big thing about that. And you know, at Wentworth at the weekend there, Alex Noren won, and Rasmus was the only guy that missed the cut. So his whole other team, apart from Sepp Straka, who was I think he's just been a father, hasn't he? Just
Yes.
the birth.
Yeah.
So, and and Luke was there as well. So they'll be talking about it. They'll be looking at, they'll be talking about foursomes. Eddie Molinari's massive. He's the big stats guy, which is very. Eddie's a boy that there's nothing unturned, no stone unturned. Yeah. They'll be looking at foursomes. They'll be looking at the golf course. They'll be looking at the pairings. They'll be looking at the pods they go out in, and and the thing is, and it all boils down to it's what Iain says, the flip of the coin.
Yeah,
it boils down to the first day, the first morning.
Yeah,
if you can win the first morning, get a bit of momentum, get the blue on the board, quietens the crowd down. That was Paul McGinley's thing. Was just to try and get blue on the board as early as you could. And then just let it go from there.
And look at Rome.
New York, I mean, they're going to be in your face, but you get them turn the other way, they'll be in their face.
Yeah.
They'll turn their own, they're turning their own.
And there has been a few American, Paul Azinger said that if Paul Azinger has actually come out and said if America don't win the first morning, it's gone. Was what he said. Now, whether that's maybe a bit too much, but the importance of that first session.
That's a bit. You're up against it. You're behind the black ball early, but you don't want to be that. But I don't think it's not over the morning, is it?
Well, America never won a point the first day.
Yeah,
no,
they had 3 halves, right, which is off the chart. So you could pretty much say, well, it's only ours to lose, and that's the thing. The prep they're doing. Luke and his team with Eddie, their preparation's been off the charts. They're out there now. They've played. They're out for 10 days. They've been out for a visit. They know everything. They're talking to each other, having meetings. That's all you can do is him. Yeah. That's all you can do is make sure the preparations went well, and then you've just got to hope the golfing gods are with you, and on your day you're better than your opponent.
Give us an insight into that, Iain, because I know you can't go into details because that's unfair on Luke.
I won't know them all.
But the preparation has been so in depth. I mean, if there's anything, is there anything you can share? I mean, just even the length of time.
Yeah, well,
working on it,
the whole process. But I mean, I think it depends who, it's amazing what happens in the Ryder Cup. If we come out the wrong side of it, then everything gets under the microscope, and then and if there was one thing that you could say that we're maybe doing is actually overcooking it, because I mean the analysis now, and it could be paralysis by analysis, the stats and the forensic under the bonnet stuff that goes on to pick teams and pick pairs and all the rest of it, when in actual fact someone in there's got to be feel, guts, character that hasn't got a measurement, you know what I mean? There's
no stat for that, isn't there?
That you come out the side, just looking, touching the vice captains there. Nico Colsaerts can feel probably quite unlucky because he didn't really put a foot wrong, but I kind of get the Norrin thing because, well, he's a Scandinavian. They've got three Scandinavians, three in the team. And he was announced late, which probably meant he was getting given a chance to get there in his own steam. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I don't know how it works, Steve, but see if we need a first reserve. I mean, there's no such thing as a first reserve, is there? But if somebody was sick,
that's some sort of captain's agreement, isn't there? That you can change it. You can change, yeah. So Alec Norney, Keegan Bradley, the two guys that come in.
Well,
probably, yeah. I tell you what.
The night before.
I tell you what, I guarantee.
Been a good playoff.
Luke Donald will be delighted Bradley's not on the team, and Bradley will be delighted Alex Norton's not on the team.
That's a good point, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they're the guys on form. You know, Bradley was in that rock and a hard place. You can't be captain and play. So, but he was. You wouldn't want to play him. He's a tough character.
I think there was a bit of poker there as well. I don't think he's been playing for a long time. No. I think that's been all just
all Netflix documentary.
Well, do you know what I mean? I just think that's been a wee bit, played out that, is he, won't he? I think they made that decision a while back.
Yeah,
I really did.
And it was going to take something spectacular to change it. Yeah. Because he kind of said at the start, unless he made the top 6, he wasn't going to pick himself. Yeah, and then the narrative changed. No, we won't. Listen, we're going to have some more serious chat. We're going to talk about Bob with both the lads. Obviously, Bob MacIntyre, a huge part of it for everybody in Scotland. We're also going to talk about the American team and what the guys think about that. But listen, lads, we've got to be a bit light-hearted as well. I mean, you must have some great Ryder Cup stories. I mean,
I've got one you touch on Bradley there. So we're sitting at the official dinner, 2014, Kelvin Grove Art Gallery took over and we're sitting. It's amazing, and I'm sitting next to Keegan Bradley Westwood, sitting over there. Our wives are round there, and we just start getting talking. And Bradley says, he says, Medina hit him hard, really hard. They were talking, and he says, so much so. He says, I've got my 2 suitcases, all my gear, everything, all my gear, zipped up, untouched, in my cupboard, in my spare room. And Westwood looked over and says, I hope you've got a big cupboard, by the way, because you've got 2 more coming. and I'm sitting like that going, oh, don't. And he didn't really take it very well, right?
Really?
You know, one of the ones that he went, And I thought, oh, well done, Westy. That's one in the ribs straight away. You know, Westy's playing about 10 Ryder Cups or whatever, and he could say that, and I thought, that's a belter. But he didn't really take it well.
Quite a lot of that, Stevie.
That's a good banner. I mean, see, like Iain's saying now.
In the range, and I mean, Iain will tell us some as well.
No, but like Stoddart says now, back in the day, there was more of a, America was America, and we're here, but now. They play with each other every week. They play against each other apart from the Live guys who, before they went to Live, played against each other every week. They're all pals. They all live each other. They live near each other. Keegan and Luke are good mates.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's other guys on the team that are very friendly with some of the other players.
There was a great story from Keegan, wasn't there? That he told the story that Luke Donald was the first proper superstar peer who actually gave him time. Did it in one of the interviews. He said he was the first guy that sat down and had lunch with me when I first came on.
I
think the first real superstar that treated me as an equal.
We ended up
it's quite a good story.
Our Ryder Cup as well. We ended up in the American team room after it. Having a few beers and all that.
He's laughing there, doesn't
No, but that's what happens. That's what happens. You know what I mean? It was carnage. There's just people falling about everywhere. But and that's
we saw you the next morning.
Oh, it was rough. My God, it was rough.
You must have seen some stuff, Iain.
Do you know one of the best stories there was just when you don't even really realise at the time, it's in reflection, but when we were in that night after winning England Eagles, when Alex Ferguson was there, because he'd been helping Paul McGinley to just in the prep of he come and did a speech with the guys and all the rest of it. So he was there at the end of the week. So seen Alex Ferguson there, and then when Miguel got his bottle of Rioja from, bear in mind all the expenses are on the European tour, so he's not really caring about what he's ordering, and the top gear at Gleneagles isn't £2.50, right? So he's picked this cracking bottle of Rioja, and that was 2014.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was going to say it was about £700-800. And this guy's gone into the full sort of, he's got the candles out, he's got just dripping it into the decanter, and I'm going, this is going to be unbelievable. I'm sitting very tight to him to make sure I'm getting a glass of this, you know what I mean? Do you remember this?
Aye.
And then he's gone and done it, and after all the theatre of it all, we've poured it, and Miguel's given it all, the cigar and all this sort of thing, and then he's given it as much theatre as the guy's just done to give it the performance that it needs, you know what I mean? Takes, spits out, it's corked. The whole thing's corked. So.
I'll just be keeping that though now, mate, just in case. Just in case. I'll let it breathe for an hour.
Let's stick that in the beef burger,
But I mean, the togetherness and the stories and all the things that happen. I mean, listen, moving back on to Bobby, I mean, we saw how he felt in the bus and the way back, the great images of the singing and the sing-songs, and how we know how big it was for him in terms of his career, but just in terms of his sort of his growth and the difference between Bob going into this now than the Bob that went into the one in Rome. How would you quantify that?
He's spoken about it himself recently, so it's been out there really, and it feels a completely different approach. The first one was, it was a right battle to get there, right all the way to Switzerland, and I don't know if you remember me, Yannick Paul and who was the other one? It was Yannick. It's ridiculous. But anyway, the three of them were sort of in the mix. Adrian Maronk, sorry, well done. And they were sitting there right to the last minute till he was ended up in a room, the night before, in Switzerland, just wanting to be anywhere else but there. Same as you were when you were waiting on your selection. And just sort of want to get out and just get there. No, and the type of character, you're actually both quite similar from that side of things. Neither Stevie or Bob will go into a place and sort of go, here I am, ta-da.
Yeah.
It's in, no, I know my place. There's a first time out and all the rest of it. You definitely go in as not know your place, because that sounds like...
area of respect,
You know that you're the new guy, don't you? And you would go in and do that.
It's just been respectful to the guys that have been there and done it,
Aye. And this time around, definitely... I mean, you got to remember the record that probably does it. He's qualified twice.
Yeah.
Well, he was second qualifier here.
This time round was second qualifier, so it's like he's not having to sit there waiting for the phone to ring on the thing. He's done weeks ago. So there's a definite alter. Probably the thing that he's now looking at isn't just how am I going to do with the team. It's what my strategies for dealing with this crowd, the thing, and all the rest of it, and trying to.
I think Bob, the difference is he expects to be there now.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first one is like he said, it's almost a relief to get in it.
Yeah.
With this one, listen, I was in it nearly in thingy. I deserve to be here.
Yeah.
I expect to be here, and I can't wait to perform and try and win another Ryder Cup.
Rosie brought Bob into the Ryder. He carried him into the Ryder Cup, and then by Saturday, he sort of growing his own confidence. And come Sunday, well, he got set free on the US Open champion.
Do you see a similarity that way? Elazabal and Seve, though. It's a trait that's happened through all Ryder Cups where people's put arm round, and then you see them 6 Ryder Cups later.
Yeah, that's true.
Coming back to thank Rosie for what he done. I would never have been able to do it. And by the way, the Ryder Cup's full of that. There's Rory will be doing it with Fitzpatrick maybe last year. You got him to come out his shell a little bit, I think, and win and stuff.
You're not thanking Poulter when...
Well, that's a different story. We're talking about the present day now, Ian. You never look back, always look forward.
I could have done my partner carrying you.
I could have done my Seve. Yeah, that would have been great.
But as you say, he's into a completely different guy.
Yeah, and
so that's not fair. Not completely different, but a more matured and rounded golfer.
I think that's totally fair, and he's now got. I mean, look what he's got to defend: 2.5 points out of 3. He's got, exactly. So it's like he's going in there with a 0 on the loss thing. So that'll be his thing. The other thing I think that will happen as well. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, and this comes from no position of I've got the you've been tipped the wink. I reckon you could see Rasmus playing with Rosie now. If they're put in a
same scenario,
if just an exactly the same thing, I could see Bob playing a 4-ball now, foursome now.
I think
where he probably wasn't even considered.
Luke Donald certainly alluded to that, didn't he? Yeah, he did. At Wentworth, he alluded to it.
I'd be astonished if he doesn't play one, and then depending on how that one goes and how the match is going, it could be 2. He could end up with a full. You just really don't know, eh?
Yeah.
But the one thing I think he would, I think foursomes for him. Could see that all day long now. We're kind of half expecting it or prepared.
Well, yeah, I agree. I've been around Bethpage, and I'd say Bob's obviously Eddie Molinari's the boy for this, but I'd say Bob's driving and his accuracy and his length has been much better this year. I mean, he's went up a different level. You win a couple of times in America now. He's gone back in as 8th in the top 10 and 8th in the world, won twice in America, but he's driving this year. I've noticed a huge difference in when I'm watching him that, he's hitting a lot more fairways. That would be the bit that he was a bit kind of Mickelson-y. Great. He's always had a great short game, but now he's actually adding accuracy when you need to, like that one at Oakmont this year where I thought his driving was phenomenal, and it took something that JJ spawned to beat him like that, and you've seen the shot Rory hit at Renaissance.
Yeah,
that was an extra special shot. So now
he does that to people.
Sheffler done it to Bob. Mind the one he hold when he hold it and
said to Rory at the Cape Club, "You're going to stop doing that to people." Do you know what I mean?
But I just think he's a different animal, and I'm hoping. He'll enjoy it better.
Yeah.
I'm sure Bob will enjoy it. He'll be looking forward to this now, rather than I don't know what to expect. He'll know exactly what to expect. He'll be prepared in his own way as I know Bob like Iain knows him. He'll be treating this as any normal event.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though the enormity of the 3rd biggest sporting event in the world, most viewed golf, he'll be just going through him and his caddy, Mikey, will be going through their usual. What do we do normally for peak performance?
Yeah,
and he'll be turning up with that. And I could see Bob playing 5 times. I could see him play foursomes. And again, if you get off to a start in the foursomes and you get a win, it's awfully hard to change it.
You've walked this day. I mean, you've obviously been round it and did your recce for the junior team. They say it's a very punishing walk, a bit like Rome was. Is it the type of place you can play 5?
Well,
I know anybody can play 5
with the recovery and the with the stuff now. With technology, you can play 5. But I think what normally happens and what's been happening the last 3 or 4 is they'll try and get everybody playing early. Whether it means somebody has to get rested or whatever, but they'll try and get most of the guys playing the first day or the first 3 sessions just to give them a feel for it. The course is great. It's a long course. It's you know, the stands are up and the par 3s are long. It's a driver's course. It's just, but it does, see if it was round Bathgate now, it wouldn't matter. It's the drama. It's Bethpage Green round here instead of Bethpage Black. But I think the thing with that is you know, America get the choice of how they set it up, but there's not going to be anything tricked. It's a proper golf course on its own.
And the European boys on all that.
The European boys have been there. They were there. They played it the last couple of days. They've already been and played it. They've probably half the team played it in the US Opens. You know, it's not. It's just. It's the pressure. It's more than anything.
See what you're saying. That's right. I mean, when you think about it now, I'm not properly. There's not one way they can set that up that's going to be disadvantaged to us on what they're playing week in, week out, is there? You know how sometimes they can narrow the fairways or they can do that. What are they going to gain from that? Because these guys are.
Well, I mean, I know this is
playing field every week.
I know this is how much they look into it with Eddie Molinari, but they thought that, you know, I don't know if I'm speaking out of turn, but I probably am right enough. But Eddie's thing was, because they were better bunker players, he'd found out that the sand was raked with a thin rake and always a perfect lie. So he got rakes in with thick sort of fingers, so that the ball sat down a bit.
In the grooves.
In the grooves, so that it wasn't as good a lie, and they went in and thought, oh, this isn't lying too good. Whereas that's what we use when we play in Europe and stuff. So that's
minute detail.
If that saves you one guy not getting up and down and a half point or anything here and there, you know, that's brilliant. That's what it's all about. So America, by the way, they'll have their clever guys with the stats looking at. They'll be trying to see if there's any weakness at all that they can pull a fairway in, make the rough an inch longer, shorter, make the greens a wee bit quicker, a wee bit firmer, a wee bit softer. You get your initiative is how you start it, and then once it starts, you're not allowed to alter anything.
Right.
So if you've got it there at the start, and you know, we went thick rough in France, really, really thick rough in France, because we thought we were better drivers than we were, and it showed. So they'll be tweaking something on Bethpage now, and it'll be interesting to see that. But again, our guys will be. You'll notice that in the practice round if it's something. So
to tell you, when you look at that, that's where we did have an advantage of France, because the closing holes from a Ryder Cup point of view are the best probably ever.
Yeah.
And then because our guys had played the French Open and had been a bit conditioned to that, then that was a massive. That was one we had in the bank, and then like 15 onwards, it was like, I mean, it's a hell of a finish.
Well, the water
in France, but that's out of their. How you set it up with everything's
You Stephen spoke about the Americans there. You obviously mentioned a couple of them. Again, you're in and around them during the season, Ian. How do you view the American team? And you've got to tell us your great JJ Spawn story again. No, because, well, to be fair, JJ Spawn told the story at the Scottish Open, but you hear this one, Stevie, aye?
I did.
Yeah, well, it was. The Americans, they go about it a bit differently to how we do in Europe. We're far more, as it's been so well documented, meet you for dinner, go down there, far more. They probably live with their teams. So they're not. It's not like they don't really go out with each other as much. They don't socialise as much. But neither do the Europeans when they're playing in America either.
Changed.
It's very much like it's like a job of an assassin. You're going in, doing your job, and leaving, and going on to the next one. But yeah, they'll be. I mean, make no bones about it. They'll be fired up, and they've got rabble rousers in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, Bryson DeChambeau.
Do you think they'll play up on that, Ian? I mean, obviously your DeChambeaus and guys like that are going to really try and whip it up, aren't they?
Big time. He'll be going about whipping them all up. There's no doubt about it, and it'll be. You know what to expect, don't you?
Yeah. Well, guys, give us a lowdown on that then. Give everybody a lowdown on that, because there's been so much made about this in the build-up. So much made of it. The European management team, as you spoke about, with the VR headsets and that kind of thing. A lot of people will be thinking, well, come on, it's, you know, how bad can it be? What experiences have you heard about, things that have happened? I mean, we all heard about what happened to Monty and Brookline and stuff like that. I mean, do you think it's going to be bad?
Cantley didn't get a good time of it, did he? At Marcus Money. I mean, he was, if you like, picked on. And that was, you could say, was that over a line, or was it, that wouldn't be very pleasant for him, would it?
No.
So it was like, and then that spilt over at the car park, as we know, and all that sort of thing. So these things do get out, they can get a wee bit out of it. It was handbags at the end of the day. It wasn't really, but I'm sure he wasn't walking off feeling too plush at how he'd been shouted at.
Yeah.
And the abuse.
And there was a lot of stuff on the Sunday he got as well. Yeah, a lot in the singles game. Yeah.
It's nothing new. It's been happening. There's a flag in here somewhere from Old Warson when Arnold Palmer was a captain. Uncle Bernard's playing, where one group said that the caddy looked in the bag and there was a huge rammy. Had to get the captains together and it was proper heated. Nearly fisticuffs. And it's been happening since the 70s. It's probably been happening since the 40s and 50s.
And from outside the ropes, what do you think?
Well, I've heard a few things where it's not we can play, you can get on the tee and you get the crowd up and all that, right? The noise is no bother. Yeah. And if you've hit a bad shot and you're getting a bit of abuse, it's no bother. It's when your loved ones are walking at the side of the ropes, your wife, your kids, and they're getting proper targeted abuse, because that's what they do. I know a few people that wives maybe not even going to this one. If they go, they're not really wanting to go, because if they've been a couple of times, and it can get really, it can get really, really personal. And I think that's the bit. I don't see the jeering if you miss a putt, and they're cheering you miss a putt. That's always going to happen.
Normal,
that's going to happen. It's the same in any sport.
Yeah,
we had an incident this year at the PGA. When you think about it, this is really stupid. They had a bar, like a hospitality unit bar, on the 15th tee, right, on a tee. So it's like, it's one thing having it everywhere else, but on a tee, when you're focused on it, okay, have a little stand. This was actually a hospitality facility which has got noise and guys having a couple too many late in the day. It's late in the round. Yeah. So it's late in the round, it's late in the day. Obviously, folk going to have a few beers, and there was Bob had taken a shot, and this guy was usual mashed potato or whatever he was shouting, all the sort of the nonsense that they can come out with. But it was like, it was real borderline. But I'd been watching it, and it was real borderline, but it was right on as he hit the shot. He didn't do it in the shot, but it was as tight as it really could be, right? And Bob's hit his shot straight up the middle, so there was no petulance on it. It's going wide or anything. It was down the middle, but it was still the fact that this had happened, right? And he turned round and he sort of stared this guy out, while the other two were still playing and everything. And this boy, he didn't know who I was next to me. He said, you think that's bad? Wait till Bethpage and all this sort of stuff. And this is what's happening in a PGA, just like in the whole bit. So that
was bang, May, June?
I actually heard that a few weeks, when he was playing Scottie in the BMW as well, and nothing to do with Scottie, it's not his fault, obviously. But you're playing one of America's darlings and everything, and there was quite a lot of stuff. Welcome to the Saturday, MacIntyre, and all this sort of, just like utter. I could use stronger language, but
it was quite good.
But so
we drafted in by Keegan Bradley.
I think a wee bit of that is going to.
Did you do Bob's VR headset with the abusive? You would have known exactly what to say in your American accent.
Put it against a shinty team.
I think the good thing with that is, though, is as much as it can work in their sort of favour, if you quieten them.
Yeah. Well, they say the New York supporters will turn against their own. That's what they say.
Well, that's what we're hoping, that you just get the blue on the board early. Yeah. And then they turn, because I asked the guy when we went for the site visit, I says, take it, is there a ban on alcohol or that? Is there a time limit? And he went, the minute they walk in the door, they can
for you or the fans.
I'll probably had a couple before then. But no, he said, because I was thinking, oh no, but you know what it is? If there's none of the personal stuff, and it's just. Yeah. It's just,
but there's
one team wanting
there's going to be
one, that's what it is. And I think
the police counts up. So the police counts way more than
even more so.
Really? That size,
well, the president's coming on Friday. Donald Trump.
I know, I've heard.
So there'll be.
Yeah.
So the first off time will be 37 minutes late, like the US Open tennis final.
Tennis with the.
I was going to say, yeah.
To the
fans can get in. Fans can get in.
There can't be much room for daylight between.
Well, they're teeing off. I know the first tee off's 7:10.
7:10.
So we can't have.
So the tennis was held up by 40 minutes.
Yeah.
But because they closed the turn, there was certain turnstiles to get into Arthur Ashe Stadium. A lot of guys didn't get in for 2 hours.
Do you not think though, if logically, right, Do you not think logically, if they get in early and there's guys stepping over a line, make an example of them quickly?
Yeah.
Set the tone so that the word will get out on that.
What it should.
Have you heard,
Yeah.
But if they let it go, it could go.
Yeah.
Again, it's down to the first day. If it's terrible the first day, Luke Donald will come out, and hopefully Keegan Bradley comes out as well, and they'll say, listen, we can't condone this, and then something will happen about it.
Yeah.
Because it can't, you don't want any outside agencies getting in the way of the unbelievable sporting event that it is.
Yeah.
And these are all pals. They two are best pals.
Mm-hmm.
So one will back each other up.
Yeah, they will. Aye.
So and all we want is the golf to be amazing.
I want it to be a fair match.
You want it to be a fair match, and you want the golf to be brilliant, and everybody go, how good. But you don't want to be saying, what about that numpties? What about them shouting it and calling somebody's wife something, and that'll get called out straight away.
Right.
Because they're on it.
The legacy of the match is it's been all about the crowd, and it's just gone completely over a line. That's a sad indictment of it won't help the brand of the Ryder Cup either. It'll make, and it'll stoke it up, because you remember where we're going next,
yes.
right? I mean, the one thing that Ireland will bring to the Ryder Cup's alcohol in it, so they're going to be fueled up and ready to go.
Especially for the 100th edition.
Yeah.
Of course.
Big event.
Right, let's be positive. It's going to be fantastic, isn't
Exactly.
it? It's going to be
amazing.
The golf itself, a lot of people have got things to say about the Ryder Cup. There's some, the falsities of some of the friendships and the way it's all kind of, but the golf itself just goes to another level, doesn't it? We've seen some of the things that we've seen down the years, the shots, it's just incredible. Some of the putts have been holed, ridiculous shots. Do we expect more of the same guys? It's just going to be brilliant.
Well, just the best of the best, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. What would be your reason for that? Seriously, like the amount of...
I just think the emotion.
Much more hole-in, there's much more hole-outs, there's much more...
That's true, Iain.
I just think because they bring out emotion that you don't normally see, and they're so focused.
But you've been more aggressive.
Yeah, but they're so focused, and if a guy puts it into 4 foot, you're not going to play to your usual 15-foot right or that. Mm-hmm. You're going to go straight at it. Your guy hits a good tee shot, I'll go for it. Bang, knock it on a green to 4 foot. You got a putt for eagle. It's a different dynamic, and I just think it brings out the bit. Look at the emotion. You don't normally see Rory emotion. He's shushing the crowd and he's giving it all of this, and it just brings out a different person in you that you sometimes aren't.
Because I've seen some characters that you would never associate.
Justin Rose is one of the
guys like Matt Cook, things like
Patrick Reed,
high-fiving people.
Guys doing that.
Very unusual.
And I think when these guys are at their best and they're focused, more, that's when you see the good putts, the good holes, the shots, the hole-in-ones. I think you'll see everything like that again. Yeah, it always has been.
Does, doesn't it?
And they'll set the course up in a way that there'll be 2 or 3 holes that'll be the risk and reward holes that you'll see the drama. Yeah, there's always drama.
2 or 3 things to get through before we sign off. It would be rude not to ask you about how much you're enjoying the Seniors Tour, getting around and about now, and how much you're enjoying it. You seem to be doing great. I mean, how much fun is it to be in amongst you?
That's what golf's about, isn't it?
You started with
golf, what a sport. I mean, how can you still be competing, when you're 50? And the good thing for me is
getting wheeled out. I mean, how many?
I know, it's only 3 rounds now. It's brilliant. But I mean, when I left I was 28 years on tour, 660 odd events, but I'd also been through 3 sets of pals. So now I'm back with my pals. I'm back with Gary Orr, I'm back with Simon Can, I'm back with the boys that I first came out on tour with, and
you might be back
it's magic.
You might be back competing with Tiger Woods. Ernie Els said 2 weeks ago, Tiger at Christmas.
My ex Walker Cup, I played against him in the Walker Cup in '95, and Tiger's said he's going to come back and play 6 or 7 events as a senior, so you can't beat that. I mean, no. I get, even for me, playing at Sunningdale this year in the Senior Open, and Ernie's there, and Langer, Monty, Podrick, my old pal, the Walker Cup pal as well, and the standard's unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, you think it's not just a cakewalk, these guys are still brilliant. Bernard Langer's 68, played with him in America 3 weeks ago, he still shoots 2 under par. He's a machine. And
you're golfing.
And the good thing is, it's 3 rounds, there's no cuts, it's it's a bit more subdued, but the standard of golf and how hard everybody still works is the bit that got me. Was, you've still got to, it's not just a cakewalk, you've got to come out here and you've got to earn everything you get, and that's the bit I like about it.
Iain, tell everyone watching and listening how and why Europe are going to win this Ryder Cup.
Europe are going to win this Ryder Cup because the parts are very strong. And the parts are very strong, and the sum of all parts gives them a hell of a chance to do that. From the players to the analysis to the preparation to the continuity to there's a lot of things going for them. And I can see that's why Europe will win the Ryder Cup, but it ain't going to be easy, obviously. And
tell us why not only will Bob have a chance to go back to back, but the man left us. I got a magnificent Junior Ryder Cup team. How exciting. A great chance to do that. We'll come to you in a minute, Stevie.
It's 0-0 until next Friday, so of course he does.
Stevie, I mean, your team are brilliant in Rome.
Yeah, my team, they were magic. I mean, I'm just blessed. I've got a front row seat to watching the next number ones, the next Ryder Cup, the next Solheim Cup. You know, for me, I get them for a couple of days, and it's just trying to make them enjoy themselves and go out and do the same thing they got them in the team, and then just soak it in. I'm just telling them to just listen, soak it in. If history repeats itself, the players that have played in the Ryder Cup, Junior Ryder Cup's off the charts. So it's going to be one of you guys here, either the boy or girl, that's going to be in a Solheim or a Ryder Cup. So it's just about, I've got 2 players from last year that are playing, so there's 10 new faces. So hopefully the 2 guys that were there last year, Lev Grimberg and Chris Kim, can do a good job for me, and just tell them what it's all about. And I just want to get them playing as a team as quickly as possible, and and just enjoy it. Just do the same golf that got you in, and if they can do that, who knows? If they win on the day, brilliant. If they don't, we've done our best.
Tell you what is interesting, isn't it? From a Junior Ryder Cup now, the logistics of an elite amateur and their preparation and their diaries and it's unbelievable now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, we've got a lot of the girls that are playing in Canada just now in the World Junior Championship, as America have as well. And then on the Friday, there's a few girls going to, I think it's Indonesia or Singapore for the World Ladies Amateur, so their schedule's unbelievable.
Yeah.
They've just had a couple play in America, and it's great. I've enjoyed. I've been to a few amateur events, and I enjoy watching them. And the amateurs now aren't the amateurs; they're young pros. They're ready just to burst out on the scene. You see guys in the Walker Cup, even Cammy Adam there that played in the Walker Cup. Mm-hmm. He was in the second last group at the Belfry. That Alex Norman, and with Marco Penge and all these guys that were pushing for Ryder Cups. He was up there. Back in the day, we were amateurs. I remember first going on tour, and I'm looking at Seve, Faldo, Woosnam, Sam Torrance, all these guys. They don't phase these kids now because the technology they've got, the courses they're playing, the way they play, how young they are. They come out on tour now and they see Scottie Sheffler doing, he's just out uni. They see this guy doing it. Oh, I went to his Aberg, Aberg. I hadn't even heard Aberg really until somebody mentioned it. And then you're like, oh my goodness! And he wins in Prawn, and he comes out and he's Ryder Cup record. They beat Scottie Sheffler 9-7, and you're like, wow. And that's what these guys are looking at now, and they're so ready to play. Even the American Walker Cup team, they're so ready to play now, and that's the great thing. That's great watching them.
The other thing, you're too humble for this, but Stevie's job that he did last time, and how forensic that was, and how much detail he brought to the thing, definitely carried us over the line by a record margin and everything last year. But what was the first win in how many years?
Quite a few, I think. I don't know.
Just the 11 points.
Our preparation in the Junior Ryder Cup over theirs last time round, I'm sure it'll not be like that this time, though. They've learnt a lesson there. Everything.
Well, the thing, I'm just going to do the same thing as Paul McGinley said to us, I'll say to the kids, in the bigger picture, we won last week, we won last year, so did we. But in the big picture, in both teams, we're still behind America in the bigger picture. So what we've got to do is just try and make our mark and leave the next group of kids and the next group of Bobs and that coming through to make their mark, to claw it back. We're still getting beaten the Grands since 1927. America's won it way more times than we've won it, even though we've had a great spell the last 20, 30 years. So that's all our thing is. Last year, that was that group of kids that done that. It's now on to you to leave your mark for the next group of kids coming through.
And if that happens, and the same things happen in Rome, you will then win
we'll be stood next to each other next to the first tee on Friday morning, and Europe will go win.
Well,
Tell us why that's going to happen, because Ian's outlined his reasons why. You give us your reasons.
well, I would, first of all, I hope we win. We're preparing to win, the kids. Obviously, so will Susie Wally will be saying the same. She hopes that they can win. But I'm not going to say anything about the junior one, because I don't want to jinx anything or that. But I think the big team's going to win. I just think they've got the better players. And I think that tight-knit squad, with just bringing in one Højgaard for the other, was a master stroke. Not a master stroke. I felt for Marco Penge and Matt Wallace and these guys, but I just think Harry Hall too. Yeah, I mean,
he was one that hit the crossbar.
Yeah, I mean, there's always, well, Alex Norton, but I think the thing is that continuity. They know how to win it. They've already won it. They're a tight knit group. You've seen them singing in the bus and all that, and that'll be done. Luke will have done his job, right, lads? Let's win. It's Luke. He'll be desperate. He's won as a player and abroad. The mark of the captaincy is if you can win away. Yeah. And he'll be desperate to put that on his CV, is to win as a home and away as a player and a captain. And I think that's the big thing. So it's just, there'll be knuckled down. There'll be no complacency kicking in at all. It'll be, let's go and do the business. And I just think, as Ian had said, I think strength and depth. We've got one rookie. They've got 4 rookies. But every team needs a rookie. But I just think they've got 4, we've got 1. We've won the team with that almost same group. I think that's why we'll do it again.
Gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure. Stephen, Ian, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We all wish you the best of luck, both of you, in your various roles when you're over there.
Thanks, Swanee.
I hope it goes really well and you get the success that you're looking for. And thank you to everybody for taking the time to watch and listen. You can stay in touch with the Daily Record all the way through the Ryder Cup to keep up to date with everything that's happening from Bethpage.